Hello and welcome to the channel, and I'm here for a list video for you guys. Now for this list, I'll be going over 15 of the most underrated Rush songs. Now keep in mind, this is not necessarily a top 15. These are just 15 songs from Rush that I personally think are underrated and overlooked. So yeah, I don't think that this list is in any particular order, so let's go ahead and get started. And I think we'll start off with the song Here Again, which is from their debut album. Now, ever since I first heard their debut album, this has always been one of my personal favorites from the album. I know it's a favorite for some people, but I don't really see a lot of people mention this one much. Usually when people talk about the debut album, they mainly refer to songs like Working Man and maybe a few other tracks, but yeah, Here Again, I don't really see a lot of attention for this track, and it's always been, again, one of my favorites from their debut record. So the next song up, we got Resist, which is from Test for Echo. Now, to be honest, there's quite a few songs on this list that are actually from Test for Echo. That's an album that's actually grown on me tremendously, and I think there's a lot of underrated stuff from that album. And Resist, obviously, being one of them. I think this is a really great song. It has this, musically, it has this positive tone to it, and it's a very catchy song, obviously, and you know, Geddy, he sounds really good in this song with his vocal delivery, and it's just a great song all around and probably one of my favorites from Test for Echo. Next, we got How It Is, which is definitely, in my opinion, one of the most underrated songs from their album, Vapor Trails. Now, Vapor Trails, I do know, is considered a lot of people's least favorite Rush album, or at least, you know, within the top 3 or top 5 worst Rush albums or whatever to some people, and even though that's something that I might agree with, I do think that Vapor Trails is a pretty good album, actually. There's a lot of really good songs on the album, and this song obviously being one of them. Now, the song How It Is, yes, it's not very complex. Yes, it's, you know, not very proggy or whatever, but I don't know. I really dig this song. I mean, even if it's, you know, simplistic or whatever, and I just really like the instrumentation, and I really like the chorus, and I think it's a really catchy song all around, and yeah, definitely a song that I think deserves way more recognition from Rush fans, and even if it's not the most complex song of theirs, I think it's a really good song, and I personally dig it. So How It Is, it definitely deserved a place on the list. So next we got The Fountain of Lameth, which is the closing track to Caress of Steel, which is the epic from the album. Now, when it comes to this song and their epics, usually people pay more attention to epics like 2112, which to me I think is still their best epic, probably. And even the epic from Hemispheres as well, but I don't know. There's not many people that I see mention this song very much, The Fountain of Lameth. I think it's a really great song. I think structurally it's very unique and interesting to listen to. Geddy, he obviously sounds great in this song, and the instrumentation is fantastic. So, The Fountain of Lameth, this is a song that I think deserved a place on the list. So next we got Open Secrets, which to me I think is one of the most underrated songs from Hold Your Fire. Now, Hold Your Fire is another album from Rush that I know a lot of people say is one of their weakest albums, if not their weakest. But to me, yeah, it's not one of their best. That's something that I can agree with, but I think Hold Your Fire is a pretty good album, and Open Secrets, I think, is definitely one of the most underrated songs from that album. I think it's a really good song, and usually when people talk about Hold Your Fire, they usually mention, you know, the more popular songs, of course, like Time Stands Still, and even Force 10 sometimes. But I don't really see a lot of recognition to songs like Open Secrets. I think that's a really good song, so it's a song that was worthy of being on the list for sure. So next we got Virtuality, another song from Test for Echo. Probably one of their heaviest songs too, actually. Now this is a song that I overlooked ever since I first heard Test for Echo, but I went back to revisit it, and I really like it. I think it's a great song. It's pretty heavy, once again, and it's a very catchy song as well, especially the chorus. And I believe that this song is actually about long-distance relationships. So, of course, this song is kind of relatable for me personally since I'm in one myself. So, yeah, so that's definitely a plus as well. But Virtuality, all around, I think it's a really great song. So next we got Natural Science, which is from Permanent Waves. Natural Science is probably one of my favorite Rush songs, to be honest. I think it's a really great song, especially with everything that it has to offer. Structurally, it's interesting, especially that the very beginning of this song, how it starts off kind of calmly and then it picks things up when you keep listening to the song, and the instrumentation is fantastic. The guitar work and the instrumentation in general is fantastic. I mean, it's really intriguing to listen to for sure. So Natural Science, definitely a great song, and once again, probably one of my favorite Rush songs. Alright, so next we got The Camera Eye, which is definitely one of the most underrated songs from Moving Pictures. Now, Moving Pictures, I know, is one of their most popular albums, and it is one of my personal favorite Rush albums for sure, if not my favorite. But The Camera Eye is a fantastic song for sure, and it is the epic from the album, and it's kind of weird in a way, especially with these, it's kind of experimental in a way with the sounds that it has, and, you know, structurally it's interesting, and there's just a lot to like about this song. So The Camera Eye, I think it's a really great song, and definitely deserved a place on the list. So next we got Chemistry, which is definitely one of the most underrated songs from Signals. Now, I think Signals is a really great album. I know it's kind of maybe an unpopular opinion to say that Signals is one of their best albums. I mean, that's my opinion anyway. I think it is one of their best, and obviously one of the best of their 80s albums as well. But Chemistry, not really much to say about it. I do think it is an underrated song, and yeah, so it definitely deserved a place on the list. So next we got Earthshine from Vapor Trails. I know there's some people that say that Earthshine is their favorite from Vapor Trails, and it might be my favorite too, actually. I don't know. If it's not, then it's definitely my favorite in the second half of the album. I think this is a really great song, and yeah, not a song that I see a lot of people talk about. I mean, you don't really see people talk about many songs from Vapor Trails in general, but with Earthshine, I think it's a really great song, especially the instrumentation, and it's a very captivating song to listen to as well. I think there's a lot to like about this one, so Earthshine definitely deserved a place on the list. Okay, so next we got Territories from Power Windows. Definitely one of the most underrated songs from that album, and Power Windows, I think, as an album is kind of underrated. But Territories is definitely one of the most underrated tracks from that album. Musically, it's pretty interesting. It has some atmospheric moments to it, and that's kind of what you get with the whole Power Windows album. It is one of their more atmospheric albums, and one of their most 80s sounding albums as well. It kind of does that sound very well, I think, and Territories is definitely a great song. Maybe one of my favorites on the album. I'm not sure. That is something to think about, though. So, yeah, but Territories, I think it's a really great song all around and pretty underrated as well. So, with that being said, next we got Witch Hunt, which is also from Moving Pictures. Yeah, I think this is a very strong song for sure. It starts off kind of eerie in a way, and it's a very dark sounding song as well. Definitely one of the darkest sounding songs on Moving Pictures, at least I think. And I think it does a good job at everything that it does, really. And I think it's a great track. I mean, when it comes to Moving Pictures, there's not a weak song from that album. So Witch Hunt, I do think it's a really great song. So yeah, definitely had to be on the list. So next we got Presto, which is the title track to Presto. Now, some people might say it's debatable to have this song on the list. I know that Presto is also considered one of Rush's weakest albums. I like the album, but it's not one of my favorites from the band. It's definitely not one of their best. I mean, very rarely will you see people have Presto at the top as one of their best albums or anything. That's just not something that you see every day, of course. But the title track, Presto, I think is a very good song, actually. And, yeah, probably one of my favorites on the album, along with The Pass and Show Don't Tell. But The title track, I think, is a very good song for sure. It's got this, I think the instrumentation is pretty unique and pretty interesting to listen to. And, I mean, Geddy, he obviously sounds great in this song. Now, I know some people don't like Geddy as a vocalist, but I personally like his vocals. So, yeah, I think he's one of the shining moments of this song for sure. So, Presto, it's a really good song. So next we got Losing It, also from Signals. Yeah, of course in the second half of the album, and musically it's very interesting. It's kind of an emotional type song as well, and it's also kind of dark in a way. I think it's a great song. I don't really see a lot of people talk about this one. Now, I think occasionally you'll see some people, at least when they mention the second half of Signals, maybe there will be some people that will say that this is one of the better songs on the second half of the album, but overall it's not a song that you see mentioned enough nowadays. So yeah, but Losing It, I think it's a really great song. So we're going to end things off with The Color of Right, which is from Test for Echo. Once again, Test for Echo has a lot of underrated songs in my opinion, and yeah, this song, it's really great. It's pretty catchy and it's captivating to listen to. It's not one of their more complex songs or anything, but I think it's still a very good song, and it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't heard it. If you haven't revisited this one in a while, please go back and revisit it. I think it's a really great track. So, The Color of Right, I had to place this song on the list. So there you have it. That is my list of 15 underrated Rush songs. So let me know what you guys think. Are there any songs do you think I missed? What are some underrated Rush songs in your opinion? So feel free to let me know in the comments. Are you a Rush fan? Let me know. So on that note, thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.